nirmamo nirahaṃkāro na kiñciditi niścitaḥ antargalitasarvāśaḥ kurvannapi karoti na.
Devoid of the feelings of I-ness and my-ness, knowing for certain that nothing is, and with all his inner desires melted away, the wise man does not act, though he may appear to be acting. I-ness is equal to ego with doership. My-ness is equal to ego with enjoyership. The starting point of my-ness or enjoyership is the I-ness or the doership. If there is no sense of doership in any action done, then one will not go to enjoy the results of such actions as well. And the cause of doership or the origin of doership is the identity with one's BMI. A yogi has ceased to identify himself with his body. He ever exists as pure existence awareness. So no BMI identity, hence no doership. No doership as BMI, hence no enjoyership through BMI as well. It does not mean that the Jivan Mukta does not act. Whether he is a householder or a sannyasi, as long as he is in the world and has not gone to an unknown place, living in an unknown cave as an avadhuta, a Jivan Mukta living in the world has to undertake actions day in and day out to fulfill his dharma as a householder or as a saint, serving his fellow men as per divine command and intuition. His body acts, his mind thinks about actions to be undertaken to perform his dharma, but he is not neither his body nor his mind. Seated in the Bhiwadi temple, he screened all the actions undertaken by him at that time through this verse. Trying for a job in market, attending to health issues, attending to other family matters, etc. He could clearly know that he, the self, has no association with any of those actions. How can one check whether one is associated with the actions or not? In other words, there is sense of doership in him or not. If one has the doership, if one is associated with one's actions, then there would be agitation within. There would be disturbance within oneself, as he is expecting the results of actions in a particular way. Taking the simplest of actions, which all of you can easily correlate, a singer sings 2 times maybe in a center every month. If one associates himself with the singer in him or her who is singing, then every week till the time he or she sings, thoughts will keep going on within, whether they would pick up the correct scale, whether they would sing in a proper manner, etc. And if at all they have rendered their song well, then there is enjoyership in them, the sense of satisfaction that they sang well. And if the song failed on a particular day, then there is the negative enjoyership. They feel sad, they feel dejected. Now, imagine a sage singing. There is least trace of thought that he is singing. The soul sings, not his body, not his voice. There is no doership in singing, and there is no enjoyership after singing. There is total inaction in any action of a sage. That is why the verse says, there is no action though he may appear to be acting. You can relate this to almost all actions which you undertake daily, except the routine nitya karma. He had completed the writing on the stock for recording yesterday night. That means while he is recording it on Tuesday, he had completed the writing on Monday night. Usually, previous night the talk is written. Next day morning, the essence of that verse talk is lived in the morning time, sitting before Swami's picture. And then in the evening, it is recorded, which gets uploaded the next day morning. So today morning, while seated and living this verse, a spark came for sadhaka's purpose. How can a sadhaka, still having I-ness and my-ness, can evolve to the stage of self with none of them, with no I-ness, no my-ness, no kartritva, no bhoktritva? If a sadhaka has to evolve to that stage, one thing which has happened to a Jivan Mukta has to happen to the sadhaka ultimately. What is that one thing? Combining two verses essence which were given before, their world, the ship samsara, has to drown. And as per the other verse, the superimposed ocean of vasanas, desires, has to dry. Accordingly, the sailor jiva in the sadhaka, or the one who has been swimming in the superimposed ocean of ego and vasanas, has to die. Only the substratum ocean consciousness has to exist. Only that is. At least live for 5 minutes a day in the peak of your contemplation, where you, the jiva, your world the ocean of vasanas. The ship you are sailing in, your world of individual and collective vasanas, have drowned and lost its identity, and you thereafter exist as ocean of consciousness with no ego whatsoever. When you have no ego and no vasanas and no indriyas to catch the impression from outside world, then the world wind of collective vasanas can no more disturb you. Now, after existing thus for 5 minutes, for which you have to make all-out efforts, immediately from now, after existing thus with your ship samsara or the ocean of, at the surface level, superimposed ocean of your vasanas, your ego dried, the ship wrecked and immersed in the ocean of consciousness. You, the jiva, the sailor, or you, the swimmer in your own little world of ego, you also, the ego is equal to jiva, also has drowned in the ocean of consciousness. This must happen in your nididhyasana, peak of your nididhyasana. Then you imagine, will there be the doer in you, the I-ness in you, or will there be the enjoyer in you, the my-ness in you at that state? It is here that the difference between sadhaka and seer, guru and disciple goes. Hari Om.